The developments in Pakistan are a big focus today, and we're also trying to understand what this would mean for India. The big Pakistan elections that seems to be at the finale now, after a long series of horse trading and some vicious back and forth. Of course, there are several reasons on why is this being keenly followed in India. We have experts with us to try and decode all of that, but let me give you a roundup on what is the latest we have on this. Former Pakistani Prime Ministers and bitter rivals Nawaz Sharif and Imran Khan have both declared victory in elections, which have been marred by the delayed results and militant attacks, throwing the country into further political turmoil. It's not been easy times at all for Pakistan. Importantly, counting is still underway in major political development. The Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, that's Imran Khan's party, has claimed that it has 170 out of 265 National Assembly seats, and it is all set to form an alliance with the Majlis Wahadat-e-Muslimin. Due to the lack of clarity on what will happen next, and according to local media, the PML-N has reached out to the PPP, which is what? Which is about the former PM Nawaz Sharif meeting with Asif Ali Zardari and Bilawal Bhutto-Zardaris, sparking the question, is a coalition on the cards? Union have separately expressed concerns about Pakistan's electoral process. In fact, if we look at what's really happening, former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan has been granted bail in 12 cases related to the May 9th attacks on military installations.
पाकिस्तानियों, आपने कल वोट देकर अपनी हकीकी आज़ादी की बुनियाद रख दी है। मैं आप सबको इलेक्शन 2024 जीतने पर मुबारकबाद देता हूं। मुझे आप सब पर पूरा भरोसा था कि आप वोट देने निकलेंगे। आपने मेरे भरोसे का मान रखा और आपके मैसिव टर्नआउट ने सबको हैरान कर दिया है। लंदन प्लान फेल हो चुका है आपके वोट की वजह से। नवाज शरीफ एक कम ज़र्फ इंसान है जिसने ऑफिशियल नताइज के मुताबिक 30 सीट्स पीछे होते हुए भी विक्ट्री स्पीच कर दी है। कोई पाकिस्तानी उसे नहीं मानेगा और इंटरनेशनल मीडिया भी उस बेवकूफ़ी पर लिख रहा है। इंडिपेंडेंट ज़राया के मुताबिक 150 नेशनल असेंबली की सीट्स पर हम जीत रहे थे धांधली शुरू होने से पहले, और इस वक्त हम 170 से ज़्यादा नेशनल असेंबली की सीट्स पर जीत रहे हैं फॉर्म 45 के डेटा के मुताबिक। मेरे पाकिस्तानियों, आप सब ने तारीख रकम कर दी है। मुझे आप पर बहुत फ़ख्र है।
Well, of course, this is just one reaction that we have. We must remember there are also rivals to this particular reaction, and that's something that we will be looking forward to have. However, I'm being joined right now by Pathikrit Payne, geopolitical analyst, as well as Faraz Saeed, who is a Pakistani journalist. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining us. Faraz Saeed, let me just take my first question to you. What is happening there right now? What are we really looking at? What is Pakistan really looking at?
Thank you, Sneha, for having me. Right now, the situation on the ground is that there is a protracted delay in the announcement of the official results from the Election Commission of Pakistan, because it has been over 48 hours that the voting process was concluded. The Election Commission of Pakistan still is not decided on whether who's winning, because again, right now the situation is that the PTI-backed independents have about 100 seats. The runner-up is PML-N, the King's Party, as we call it, which also claimed a victory speech last night with just 64 seats last night. Now it has about 71 seats. What I see is that there is going to be a constitutional crisis right now, because every party, PTI, claims that it has gained absolute majority, whereas PML-N thinks that it has the majority. So there's going to be a constitutional crisis as to who will form the government, because again, now what we see on the ground is that the former president of Pakistan, Asif Ali Zardari, who's also the co-chairperson of the Pakistan People's Party, is trying to rake in all those independents. And as we call right after election, and that's been the consistent history of Pakistan, that after every election, independents are raked in, and it's called horse trading. People will be bought so they can join a political party, and then according to the constitution, all the independents are supposed to join any political party within the 72 hours of the election results announcement. So that's going on the ground right now.
Faraz, would you help me understand this 48-hour delay? Is it unprecedented in Pakistan politics? 48 hours since the elections have finished and the results have not been announced. Is this unprecedented? Is this usual? Would you help us understand that?
It is not unprecedented at all. I mean, what we see back in 2018 as well, as the common hymn goes that, RTS bet ya tha in a local vernacular. It also took about 3 good days to announce the official results. But why those elections were tainted and why PTI Imran Khan was considered as selected, because again establishment meddled in those elections as well. And whenever there is a protracted delay in the announcements of the results, there's a greater possibility that the compilation and of results are being rigged. It's being manipulated by the deep state, and that's what we see happening right now as well. So it's not unprecedented. But what I want to tell you that in Pakistan there are about 81 swing constituencies where the margin of victory is less than 5%, and only those 81 constituencies witness massive rigging, and that's what we are seeing right now. And because a lot of PTI candidates have resorted to, they knock at the doors of the courts, high courts in Peshawar, high courts in Lahore. We might see a somewhat difference in the polling outcome, what we see right now.
Right. Pathikrit, just give me 2 more minutes, 2-3 minutes, and I'll just come back to you. But Faraz Saeed, before I just let you go, one more question to you. Faraz, would you... in the current scenario, how would you look at the role of the military, of the army? There's already an appeal which has gone out from them to the people. Usually in an election, you would see the two separate. But in this case, are there concerns on that as well?
Earlier in the morning, there was a very important announcement and a statement by the army chief. He stated, amongst other things, that election is primarily not a contest, but it is the estimation of the mandate of the people. Now, I see that the army has realized that the mandate of the people is with PTI, and our sources claim that there are back-channel talks with Imran Khan, and therefore, we can come to a conclusion. And of course, it has to be seen whether it's the case or not, that the establishment is accepting the mandate, and the establishment will offer some kind of concession to PTI or Imran Khan. And that would be seen if the Supreme Court of Pakistan allows PTI to have the election symbol back. And then if they allow all of these independents to join PTI and form the government. Now, that has to be seen whether there are some concessions that are being made or not.
Sure. Okay, Pathikrit, thank you. I'll also just getting Faraz, thank you so much. Pathikrit, thank you for your patience. Coming to you now, Pathikrit, with what is happening in Pakistan, how do you really look? How should India be looking at all of this? Because irrespective of who the Prime Minister would be, these are troubled times between India and Pakistan. These are not the best of relations that the two countries have shared.
Well, I don't remember a time when we had the best of relations. So I don't think the relation will in any case improve.
No.
Secondly, I think India has, frankly speaking, it is an internal
there
affair.
Have been times when the relationships definitely have been better than where they are today, for sure. There have been some times when we've had some heightened exchanges in a good sense, which is not the case right now. But please go ahead. Please make your point, sir.
Yes, I think Indian government has taken a very strong decision that so long as terrorism would continue, I think India would not talk to Pakistan. So that is not going to change, even if irrespective of whichever political party comes to power. I think it's very clear, and I think people of Pakistan also agree to this, that this is an election which has been orchestrated by the deep state and the Pakistan army. I think, it's not an exception that this election has been rigged. But in spite of that, there is an overwhelming support for Imran Khan, which is pretty much visible. So it's very difficult to predict what would happen. But if Imran Khan is not allowed to form the government, then Pakistan, which is already in different kinds of chaos, political, economic, external, security wise, I think the chaos would deepen even more. And we must not forget what happened in 1970, at a time when there was an election when a particular political party got the mandate but was not allowed to form the government. That eventually led to a war, and what happened to Pakistan through the creation of Bangladesh, that is known to all. So I think the deep state would it tried to defeat and dismantle and neutralize the entire Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. In spite of that, if they get a majority, and what it seems to be, the deep state will try to compromise. They'll tell Imran Khan that, look, you can come back to power, but do not underestimate the primacy of the army in it. And Imran Khan, last time he thought that he is the numero. I think he has been cut down to sides to quite an extent. So he will compromise. He would be willing to compromise. The reality is it going to solve the fundamental problems of Pakistan? Absolutely no. They have deep economic challenges. If they want to contain the army or the deep state, given the enormous amount of expenditure they have, they cannot do that. It is very difficult for them to raise taxes. It is impossible for them to have foreign investments. Their foreign exchange reserve crisis will continue. There are issues going on with various other countries. Absolutely. So I do not think this election, as it is, even if Nawaz Sharif becomes the prime minister, is going to solve anything. Let me tell you the reason. Nawaz Sharif might try to show that he's the messiah, he would come and solve. But Nawaz Sharif is part of the larger problem of the feudal landlords who created this problem of Pakistan, and most of them have dual passports. Every time there's an issue in Pakistan, it is the likes of Nawaz Sharif who runs away from Pakistan. So I don't think whichever political party comes to power, Nawaz Sharif will try to show that he is now the change agent, something which Imran Khan projected a few years back. Pakistan will go back to, there will be a euphoria around this election for a month. It will go back to the same as it was, as the crisis has been. So I don't think India has anything to do out of it. India has its own election coming up. India has its own priorities.
It is a concern for India as well, because an unstable neighbor only possibly would mean greater trouble for a country like India that is its neighbor. That being one, the instability within Pakistan is a huge concern world over, but also, Patikrit, just to understand, there's a changing dynamics of geopolitical situation across the world. There's a war which is going on. There's crisis unfolding in different parts of the world, and India and Pakistan are in several cases in very different alliances and very different positioning when it comes to these global issues. How would an unstable government or an unstable election affect that equation vis-a-vis India as well as the world?
First of all, you may not agree to me, but most of the time when Pakistan was a little more stable, they created harm for India even more. So I don't think an unstable India is too much of a problem.
I know where that is coming from. That's right.
If it is a bigger problem, then I'm sure there are other countries also who really get concerned about the safety of the nuclear weapons. Yes, there is an issue going on in the Middle East. Yes, Pakistan, will try to play a critical role in it, even though, frankly speaking, United States have completely curtailed to a great extent the kind of support it used to give to Pakistan in the past. If United States consider that it is now time to use Pakistan again to contain Iran on the northern side, and I think Pakistan must also be desperately hoping for that, then I'm sure Pakistan would be given some leeway, some financial support to ensure that Iran is contained. But again, if that happens, it's like biting more than what Pakistan can chew. It's going to be a huge problem. And I think they've already started facing the brunt of it by having this face-off with Iran. You see what's happening in Balochistan all over again. So there are challenges. Yes, I think India has decoupled the entire dynamics of its relationship with Middle East. So far as Pakistan is concerned, India has good relation both with United States, Russia. In the Middle East, we have good relation both with the Arab bloc as well as Iran. So I don't think Pakistan comes into that equation. Pakistan will be dealt separately as things progress. But Middle East is a larger dynamics today. I think even the Arab states today do not consider Pakistan as important to play a role, whether it is talk about India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor,
Right.
or the larger peace purpose of Middle East.
Yes.
I think they would rather prefer India to play a critical role as a mediator between the Arab bloc and Iran, and than Pakistan.
That's true,
So Pakistan is so much embroiled in its own issues.
I'm intervening at this point. We're totally out of time. You've added some very important perspectives and understanding to this entire situation. One thing definitely that India has always maintained is the harbor that Pakistan has been for terrorists, and that definitely will continue to be one of the issues that India will be raising with Pakistan, irrespective of who comes to power there. Thank you very much, Pathikrit Pain, for joining us. Faraz Saeed, Pakistani journalist who had joined us earlier in this discussion as well.